Witcher, right?
Always did know how to win friends.
I was provoked.
Saw it happen. Wanted to talk to me about something?
Amos Var Ipsis, a specialist on djinns. Heard of him? I found a tome he penned in the Emperor's library. Var Ipsis set off for Skellige one day and was never heard from again. I asked some of the local folk. Some here still remember him.
They know what happened to him?
The locals say they last saw his ship off the coast of Hindisfjall. Then a once-in-an-eon storm broke.
So he's probably fish food by now.
Not necessarily. I must learn what became of him.
Why? Do you know him?
No. It's not the mage who interests me. It's his djinn.
You sure this...
His books strongly suggest he did. He describes taming one, harnessing energy from its power.
Storm wouldn't pose a threat if he'd had a djinn. He could just utter a wish.
Perhaps he had none left, or something unexpected happened.
Why are you even interested?
I remember. But the advantages outweigh the risks. If I can tame a djinn, I shall gain incredible...
All right. So what exactly do you expect me to do?
You must help me find this djinn. I've no gold to offer in reward, but I shall be ever so grateful.
Since you put it that way, fine. I'll help you.
Thank you. A boat awaits in the harbor. Come. Then the blast knew through the longships off the bay. It was a fallen star.
See, you've managed to prepare everything already.
I have.
How could you possibly know I'd agree?
I didn't. Decided to risk it.
Not too many foreigners in the Isles in the old days.
Lead the way.
Just once, you might try to take the initiative.
Would you even let me?
It would depend on the situation.
Wonder if he's as strong as he looks.
The ship carrying the djinn sank somewhere in this area.
Not too precise as leads go.
I'll cast a spell on our boat. We'll know if there are any wrecks on the seafloor below us.
All right, let's get to work.
Mind if I take the helm?
I got a choice.
No.
Reyes Garden, the sorceress, asked him to meet her in Larvik. He made it clear this was a personal matter, but gave no further details. Geralt and Yennefer traveled to Larvik when Yennefer revealed to him her plan. She intended to capture a djinn and draw its power. The very thought of it makes my skin crawl and my throat constrict. Oh, dear reader, I have had the misfortune of dealing with a djinn once in my life, and I assure you, once was at one time too many. Most djinns, you see, combine incredible power with a mean streak for a mile long. In short, they are nasty beings that prudent people should steer well clear of. Yet, when Yennefer sets her sights on something, there is no turning back. Geralt glumly realized this and decided to help her handle the dangers that would surely arise during this mad endeavor. Yennefer had managed to learn about a certain scholar who had devoted his entire life to delving into the secrets of djinns. He had died in mysterious circumstances during a shipwreck off the coast of Hindisfjall. That is where Geralt and Yennefer decided to begin their search. Djinns. The pitcher emitted a puff of glowing red smoke. The smoke pulsated and gathered into an irregular sphere floating in front of the poet's head. A djinn is a powerful air spirit, a condensation of the power of said element endowed with consciousness and character, the latter usually nasty. According to legend, djinns can grant even the most far-fetched wishes. though they do so begrudgingly. Unusually powerful mages can capture and tame these beings. A mage who succeeds in doing so can then draw energy from such a spirit, using it to cast spells without having to summon the power from traditional sources. Only a handful have ever managed this feat, however, for Djinns fight to avoid such a fate with stubborn determination. To imprison a Djinn and bend it to one's will, one must first weaken it, and that is no easy task. Fighting Djinns is extraordinarily difficult. They can fling off spells in an instant that the most accomplished human mages could never master with years of preparation. What's more, by manipulating the element of air, they can summon gales, powerful storms, even hurricanes. Luckily, as magic beings, they are vulnerable to silver, yet still will do them no harm.
Not sure this Djinn thing's a good idea.
We managed to seize one before. Do you remember?
Of course. Dandelion almost lost his voice that time.
How lucky your exorcism saved it. It was poetic.
Yeah, how was I supposed to know that incantation meant begone and plow yourself?
You should have studied foreign languages.
Gonna keep bringing that up for the rest of my life.
Of course. Your last wish effectively assured it.
My wish was about us being together always, not about you mocking my every mistake.
Careful what you wish for. And when your wish is granted, you must accept it with all attendant circumstances.
Yeah.
And as for your missteps, I don't rightly see why I shouldn't laugh if they're amusing. There's something here, on the bottom. It's too deep here. You can't dive that long.
You underestimate me.
On the contrary. After all, I asked you for help. I'll cast a spell. It will slow your heart for a time. You can stay submerged longer.
Assad I Criede Rithorn.
Ready. Careful down there.
How's it going?
Yeah, and you know I hate it when you read my mind.
Strictly speaking, I'm not reading your mind, but using telepathy. Besides, you've nothing to hide, right?
Wouldn't admit it if I did. Not the point.
See anything interesting?
A shipwreck and a cavern. I'll look inside.
Fucking crossbow.
Snapped masts, busted planks, and a whole swarm of drowners. Probably drawn by the corpses of drowned crew, then made their nest here. There's also a Clan Drummond figurehead.
Not the right ship.
Come back up.
Where to now?
Wherever the leads take us.
Say we find the Djinn. What'll you do? Ask for a beautiful house? And a palace? And a queen's crown?
Are we still talking about the Djinn? Or have we moved on to a talking fish?
Doesn't much matter. Both make wishes come true. What would yours be?
You learn in due course. Something's here. Another wreck.
Let's see if our Djinn's down there. Found a wreck. It's been here a while. What's rotted?
Look around, but be careful. Look for something that might indicate it's the mage's ship.
Got something. A Skelliger's buckler. Clan Hamai symbols.
Donar's clan.
Donar was a babe in swaddling clothes when this buckler landed here. Beautiful craftsmanship.
What do you have?
A longship belonged to Clan Djinn. Yen. Doubt any of these boats were the mages. These are old sunken longships.
Come back then. We must search elsewhere.
Now that's what I call war booty.
Have you found the Djinn?
No, but I found something that could be just as valuable to me as the Djinn is to you.
You're getting better at this.
Go even quicker if you helped me down there.
I prefer to observe matters from up here, most definitely.
Yeah, like when we were looking for the golden dragon and Avalanche swept us off the trail. Me clinging to the remains of a bridge for dear life. You gripping my waist, admiring the view. Remember? Chasm below us was breathtaking. Rustling trees, a lazily flowing stream.
I remember, though I found myself admiring what I had right in front of me. Something strange about those rocks.
And there's something on the bottom. I'll see what it is.
See something?
Something doesn't do it justice. A huge crater, as if a meteorite landed here.
I must see it.
Diving in after all?
No, I shall cast another spell, to see through your eyes. Now relax. I su foltia bedem ein eichte illivaid. That is no meteorite crater.
What is it then?
The effect of teleportation. A powerful force cut out a fragment of the seabed, rocks and everything lying within the teleportation zone.
Always claimed portals were dangerous.
I believe we're on the right track. Look for anything that might contain a Djinn.
Fine, but get out of my eyes. Too cramped in here for us both.
I su foltia bedem ein eichte illivaid.
No Djinn here, but there's something you ought to like.
What?
Half a seal.
That'll do. Come back up.
Only found half. Can you do anything with this?
I can use it to locate the other half, to within a dozen yards.
And once we find that, we should find the Djinn.
Exactly. Ready? I'll take us there on the count of 3.
Oh, no, not another portal.
Stop whining. 1, 2... Three.
Said you were gonna go on 3.
I did. Look, we must search the area.
Yen, not so fast. Gotta tell me what this is about first. Why do you want this Djinn?
But you already know. A Djinn's...
Won't worm your way out of it. Not this time. Tell me.
You needn't resort to blackmail. You would have learned eventually.
True, but after the fact. I want to know now.
How long has this been going on, Geralt? This thing between us? 15, 20 years? We repeatedly split up, then returned to one another. Something draws us to each other, but I can never be certain if it's a true feeling or merely a bit of mischief by a Djinn.
So that's it? This is about my last wish?
You asked that Djinn to bind us together forever. I want to ask this one to take that wish back.
I get it. You want to know what'll happen if magic no longer binds us.
I want to know if when the Djinn's magic is gone, if we've any magic left of our own.
Wondered that myself many times.
You see, we're just a step away from learning the truth. Come, let's search the ship.
Seems Amos was quite the eccentric, asking the Djinn to lift half his ship to a mountaintop.
He didn't necessarily. Djinns are inherently mischievous. This one might have granted his wish and perverted it in doing so.
In that case, I'd appreciate it if you didn't wish I'd disappear from your life.
I've yet to decide how to word it. We should explore the ship.
Interesting. Mystery of mysteries, Agnes of Glanville. Mage must have slept here. Nothing interesting. Elemental Empires by Gian Battista. Nothing here. Wonder what this means. Nice shoes. Looks like the impact with the mountain was so powerful it popped the wearer right out of them. Blood. Someone was dragged across the deck. War left this mark when the ship suddenly tipped to one side. Blood. Someone was dragged across the deck. War left this mark when the ship suddenly tipped to one side. Yen, think you should see this.
What do you have? It's Amos. Looks exactly like the etching in the book. Except his head was intact there.
If he died while being teleported. Behold.
Bravo! Come to the deck. I've an idea.
Okay, I have to prepare for this battle. 42%. What the fuck?
Step back a bit.
What are you going to do?
Summon and tame the Djinn. It's not likely to be happy. Stand at the ready.
Okay.
Tame Djinn, Rif Kaishta en Gaia, Kaishta et Disglair, Gevired me Castle.
Let's play.
Take it you have a plan.
You must weaken him while I draw him into the sphere.
Care to trade places? Oh, come on!
Ken.
What? Lost your nerve? What now, you piece of filth?
Fuck.
Stronger than I thought.
Yeah. What the? Did we do it?
Got you! Your master died before uttering his last wish. I cannot capture you. We can struggle like this for eternity, or I can release you. If you do one thing for me. Do you see the spell that binds us? Only a Djinn can remove another Djinn's spell. Remove this one and you'll be free. You are free!
Fuck. Incredible fight.
Storm's over.
Yes. It's all over.
Maybe we should sit. You look a bit dazed.
I'm not, but we can sit.
Feel any better?
I told you, I'm fine.
Don't need to play tough for me. That was a hard fight. Maybe not as hard as the last time we tamed a Djinn, but still.
No comparison, I'm afraid. Half of Rind suffered then. Now I'm merely a bit tired. Thank you for coming, Geralt. I'd have had a much harder time of it on my own.
Well, never could say no to you.
Perhaps that will change now.
Don't
Feel
think so.
anything? That anything's different?
I expected... I don't know what I expected, actually. A bit of vertigo, perhaps. I thought you'd become a stranger to me. That I'd look at you and not feel a thing. But it's not like that at all. Nothing's changed.
Sorry, but I don't want to be with you anymore.
Djinn might have cheated us after all.
Why?
Because I don't feel that anything's changed either.
Fucking Geralt.
I love you, Yen.
And I love you.
And I thought witches are non-sentimental
Ow, what was that?
It can't be all sweetness and light.
Strange. Done that so many times. But it felt like our first kiss to me.
It was, in a way. Besides, once you say I love you, a kiss has to taste differently.
Maybe we ought to test a few other things. Amos's cabin looked cozy.
Not so fast, Geralt. We'll have plenty of time to visit cozy cabins later.
Okay, so
But I doubt the world will end if we sit here a while.
I agree with you.
My, it's lovely.
Look at these lovebirds.
I think the
What the
spirits of
fuck?
Skellige favor us.
Okay. That was a tough battle. So enjoyable.
Next time we go on horseback.
A horse would never make it down that mountain.
What now?
Well, I'm due to appear in Vizima.
Yen, what happened back there?
Was very nice. Let's not ruin it by hashing out the details. I'll see you again soon.
Take care of yourself.